doing it? Are you doing it? Yeah.
Entering a new decade as the world's leader in motorsports coverage presents Speed World.
Jabroni. Jabroni.
Jabroni Cup fever, catch it! Woo! Hell yeah!
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Jabroni Cup Racing. This is Chet McGurk. Tad Lowdermilk, apparently not happy with his contract. Just not showing up tonight. Said he'd be here. I don't know what he's doing. But we're going to keep on rolling here at Talladega. As you can see, Brogy Logan Parks qualified first. If we can get around to a better camera angle. There we go. We're going to get ready to go racing here in just a second. A little bit cloudy down in Talladega today. Stinky Bennett up in front.
Start your engines!
So we hear him going. Let's see, we're going to have to do a refresh. So let's get rid of it before we get going live here. Just having all kinds of issues. That's all right. Let's pause it. Let's see if we can get the rest of it going again real quick. Got to have our stats up today. Let's see. So that should do it. Let's get the race back on track. See what happens. So it looks like we should have our stats working now. Like I said, Stinky B, Brogy up front. Stinky B definitely not going to be holding on to that position. Of course, we're going to be doing a lot of drafting here. We got 38 laps, fastest track on the circuit. Chris Everett, Dane Parks on the second row. The Parks brothers, Justin and Jason, on the next row. And then Chris Skeen and Cole Parks on the next row with Rusty Hughes and Brian Driggers following up. So let's see what happens. We're getting ready to go green here at Talladega. Coming up. Come on, guys. Let's party. Here we go. All right, we're racing to Talladega. Stacking and jacking. Logan Parks jumps way out. Stinky B, on the other hand, drops back. Well, it's going to be up to Brogy to see how long he can stay in front of the two-headed dragon. The drafts at Talladega of sports fans. And I can see our volume is screwed up too. All kinds of problems tonight. We're just going to have to deal with it. Pull the mic over here. We've got sound coming out of the other monitor for some reason. We'll wait till possibly a caution to see if we can adjust that. Getting 3 wide back there. Chris Everett, Chris Skeen, not wanting to give up a spot, and Chris Everett's going to pay the piper. He is dropping way back. Way back. And we got some people really stacking up back here, widening out. Cole Parks right beside Jacob Parks, but then Jacob Parks takes off on that bottom line. We all know the inside line is the place to be. Let's work our way back up to the front. Logan Parks still hanging on. Moves to the outside. There's Spider on the inside, and Logan Parks back down. He is surfing the wave out there very well. We're on lap 2 already. Don't really expect any cautions. Maybe when people are pitting, coming back out into the racetrack. Look at the inside line, just roar. Roar past as Spider McCrinsky rides the wave with little Luke pushing him from behind. Just trying to split the difference. Can the in and out machine put together a better run today? Some disappointing runs here of late. Let's see what it can do. And those guys back there, look at that. Just a clump of cars back there. What do you think about that, Tad? Oh yeah, that's right. Tad's not talking. Come on, Tad, you're better than that, bro. Way better. I see you smiling. See you smiling back there. He's just reclining on the couch up here in the booth. Like a true jabroni. We're going to work our way back up through the field with a little helicopter view. See old Crocs and Justin Parks, Dane Parks all working their way towards the back, but they would just reform, get back in line on the inside. They'll work their way right back up to the front. As we see Spider still holding on up there. Look at that gap. Got a couple of car lengths between him and now Miles Parks in second. Haven't seen a Miles Parks victory this year. Although he has consistently been running well enough to get into, I believe, the top 5. After having a tremendous second half of last season, just couldn't put it together to finish it off. And, you know, while we're sitting here, maybe I can take a look at some of the, possibly, some of the standings. Nope, that's not how you do it. Of course, these are after 16, so we should be good to go there. That was the last race. So Justin Parks still in the points lead, with Cole Parks right behind him, Chris Skeen next in line, Pete Cool 4th, and Miles Parks 5th. As right now, Spider still doing a great job, but look who's appeared behind him, old David Baird. No Aldi's up there, trying to make some moves. Let's get a little closer look. This is some classy racing, classy draft racing today. Talladega. We're on lap 6 already, folks. We're just knocking these things out. Got one line, one draft going up front now. Let's see how long that lasts. Not very long. David Baird shoots down to the inside with Darrell Parks. Synchronized move. May have been a little coordination going on in pit road down there. David Baird gonna take the lead. Oh, Aldi. Let's see if he can get some laps led for the new Randolph County racing team, but may have spoken too soon. Just if he stays inside, it'll be good. He's always got that unpredictableness. You never know what he's going to do, but if he stays low, he's going to lead us a couple laps here. Spider drops back on that outside line along with Miles Parks. Dropping further and further back. Race leader David Baird and Cole Parks dropping to the inside, going to try to make a move. Gets old Mitch behind him. He's going to ease up and get right around Darrell Parks on the inside. There's the pace car, in case anybody want to know. We'll go from the back to the front real quick. Take a look. Not going to call out everybody. It's a beautiful day for racing. You can see all the wonderful cars of the Jabroni Cup out there. Wow, look at that. Just clumps. Clumps and clumps. All Spider. Still on the outside. Got to get back in one of those 2 primary drafts. Pete Cool, his teammate's not going to let him in. He's just strung out to dry until he can find a hole. Doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Welcome to the back of the pack, Spider. Move back up to the front. David Baird still holding on. He's got old Mitch on his tail now with Coach Cam next in line with Justin Parks just behind him and brother Jason. Oh, the 3 brothers Parks. Let's take a look at that. Justin, Jason, and Jacob, all 3 in a row. Will they stay together or will someone split out on their own? And as soon as I say that, Jacob Parks thinks about the inside, stays. All 3 on different teams, but brothers nevertheless. I'm going to move up a little bit. Crocs on the outside fading back. That inside line still looking good. Old Mitch decided to go high and is paying the price for it now. On lap 9 to 38. So I'm going to guess this might be a 1 pit stop affair. Somewhere around lap 19. 18, 19, something to that effect maybe. We'll just see what happens. Justin Parks drifts high along with Jacob Parks. Justin Parks trying to get back down. He can't. David Baird's going to shift up high too. And then slams the door along with Jason Parks on that bottom line. It's a very good move, but the 2 younger Parks brothers gonna drop back until they reconnect with that outside draft. Oh, helicopter cam action. Never hurt anybody. Baby Luke has worked his way back up following Dad. He's in 3rd place right now. Jason Parks in 2nd. JD has moved up to 4th in that Xbox car. Haven't seen him up towards the front much lately, but he started off the year pretty hot. Audi drifts to the outside. That's the fatal flaw. Jason Parks, your new race leader, with his son Luke right behind him. Let's see if they can work together. Try to maintain a lead for a little while, but just like that, it's a spread up front. They managed to work it back together. David Baird going 3 wide beside JD and Dane Parks. If that draft doesn't... he has. The draft stayed with him for a second, but not long. They reconnect behind JD. Steamroll Audi out there hanging out wide. So Jason Parks in the lead with Luke Parks right behind him. Dane Parks following 3rd. Brian Driggers 4th. Looks like EJ Lawler moving up into 5th right now. Hey, there's a pace car again. Lap 11 to 38, just some clean racing out there. Typically, we don't see as much brutal combat on the drafts, on the plate races. Brian Driggers moved up to 2nd now. Looks like he's diving down. He's going to take 1st here just momentarily, as these guys like to work their way to that outside line and drop like a sack of moldy tangerines back through the field. Jason Parks wisely ducks back behind Brian Driggers instead of trying to stay up high. So that's going to reshuffle now with Dane Parks 3rd, EJ Lawler 4th, and Bad News Hughes in 5th, and Logan's made his way back to the front, our defending champ, and I see old Spider's come back up to the front. It's musical chairs in these drafts to see who plays the game the best. Brian Drigger's kind of had an interesting season. Been kind of a loose cannon for a streak there, but seems to have simmered back down. Just watching these guys put some more. Dane Parks trying to jump down inside, could not do it. Wrong button leads to shifting back through the rest of the field, but nice way to see who's moving and shaking back there. As the two lines form up, Cole Parks getting back down on the inside. Cutting off Chris Everett, nice move. That's going to pay off and let him get back into the driver's seat back there. Keep hitting the wrong button. I'm not sure what just happened. So that was a bit odd. Accidentally hit the wrong button. Need to go with the stream deck at some point here. Brian Drigger's still the man in command up here. EJ dives down. He's got Spider. Can Spider get up on there and give him a push? Get up on his rear end. Looks like he's going to make it happen, but Brian Drigger's still going to hold on to that lead for a while. Oh, look at those guys up high. It's getting interesting up there. Take a look a little further back so we can see a little more of the action. Oh, Mitch back up to 4th. I tuck in right behind Spider, but Spider says, hey man, let's dive inside. EJ's foolish enough to try going high. Never a good idea on pretty much any track ever. So, scooting back, and these guys have kind of pulled away. What has happened further back in the field? Oh, we're probably going to see some guys pitting. I'm not sure what's going on with Chris Skeen and Jacob Parks and JD. Although, yeah, we had our first pit stops. When I was stuck on some other setting, we kind of got disoriented. So let's get back around to the race leader, or at least the race leader at the time. So we're on lap 15, so this is going to be a 2 pit stop affair. Matter of fact, let's pull up the stat screen while this is going on. And actually, we're going to fast forward to make up for some lost time. We didn't have our stats ready. Shouldn't be but a second. There we go. That way we're lined up with our own screen stats. So as of right now, it's still saying Luke Halton in first. We're going to hitch back up to him. Although he's coming off pit road, so let's see. See what happens. Watching old Spider down there on the apron. Can he get up to speed? As the pack comes back around. So according to this, we've got Spider and Crocs up front. We're going to check out Spider as Mitch is moving up on him. Not sure what position old Mitch is in. Take a look at our stats real quick. Okay, so Mitch is in second according to the stats on our screen, but there we go. Now everything's refreshed. top 3 graphic. And as soon as we do that, old Mitch comes right around Spider to take the lead. Considerable gap between the top 4 up here. You know, if these guys would work together, they could really probably widen this gap, but looks like there's going to be too much jockeying for position. We're on lap 18 of 38. Still a good ways to go. Quick summary, our team standings with Deep Fried Racing in first, Flying Shimbies in second, Hulk Racing third, McCorkle's in fourth, Randolph County Racing in fifth, and Minimum Effort Racing in the basement. It's a pretty good gap there. It looks like they're probably going to be there, barring a miracle, unless Miles can pull that team out of the doldrums. And looky here, looks like Spider's got a drafting partner. Darrell Park's going to push him. Looks like right past old Mitch. Mitch is not going to let it go. Get another look at this. Watching that in and out machine. Just can't get enough to get around Mitch completely. Darrell Park's right there with him. Give him a good push, and it looks like they've got it now. Spider pulls right off of Darrell Parks' draft. Not a way to reward your drafting partner. I think he's going to be very happy about that. So we see the second pack looks like they're starting to close some ground. Might take a look at what's going on back there briefly. Wes, Justin Parks, Miles Parks, Jace, all Pin Cups, Pete, Cool, Crocs, David Baird running good today. EJ Lawler, Bad News Hughes, Logan Parks, Stinky B, Chris Everett, Uncle Dane, and Scheme, Baby Uke, Jacob Parks, Drew Parks, Jason Brown, JD way back there. Maybe having some mechanical issues. We don't know. Let's go back to the front. Look at that. Second pack is closing in, and closing in with some force. Boy, they have really closed that gap fast. Yeah, they better. Spider and Darrow decide to get down at the last moment to hook up with that bottom inside draft. They better stay there, because that line is moving, folks. We're on lap 22 with 38, so well over the halfway point, but looks like we're going to have one more pit stop. That's going to be what probably decides this thing, is if we get some more clumps of drivers, not a big group. Darrell Parks dropping down. He's got old Mitch behind him. Will someone else link up? Miles Parks does. Jason Parks does. They're going to form that inside line, and Spider Halton hung out to dry. Driggers and Justin Parks just not enough to keep him up there. Darrell Parks going to be the race leader momentarily as he tries to straddle the line, block both drafts. Jumps back down inside. Miles Parks in the middle. Who will they pick? Will they stay with him or go outside with Spider Halton? Right now they're lining up behind Luke Halton. Darrell Parks just staying in front, riding the snake. We see old Luke Halton hung out to dry, 3 wide up there. He's going to have to regroup, join back in one of the lines. Jason Parks dives down inside. Looks like he's gonna have it. Inside line moving well. Just going to stay with our rear chase cam as it gives us a good look at what's going on back there. And you can see the gap between what's now become a much larger pack at the front. Has quite a large gap between the next group back there. Jason Parks just easily cruising right now up front. He's going to stay in front of both lines, split the diff. Let's get a little rear view, and you can see Crocs serious business around his tail, but we can see, Cole Parks trying to get to the inside. If someone can make that move and bring the draft with them, just like that. Jace drifts high, and that's all she wrote. So we've got a new race leader, folks. Old Crocs with Cole Parks just behind him. Lap 24, so we're getting there. These guys are just clicking these laps off at a good pace right now. Fastest lap so far by David Baird. How about that, sports fans? Outside line just doesn't have what it takes to hang tough with the inside line. Crank it up. We're going in car with David Baird. See what he can do. Looks like we're going to have a new race leader. Crocs must have drifted outside, and that opened the door for old Wes and that Roblox car with Justin Parks just behind him and Bad News Hughes along for the ride. Gonna move up a little bit. Maybe we're going to get on board with Rusty Hughes. He's got a real good view up here. Teammate Justin Parks just in front of him. Getting real close. Real close to making some contact there. Look at our view from the helicopter. Logan Parks getting pinched in the middle between Dane Parks, Justin Parks. Justin Parks goes outside 3 wide with Cole Parks, and that's a one-way ticket to the back of the pack. Absolutely is. We're going to scoot back up a bit. Watch old Mitch. Old Mitch shooting down to the inside with Bad News Hughes. That could easily buy them a ticket to the front. We're on lap 27, folks, so we're closing in on what's got to be time for that last pit stop. There's a good look at that Coors Light car by Bad News Hughes. Staying up front, but still a lot of time left. A lot of laps to go. He's got old Mitch behind him, and Chris Everett has worked his way back up front with Stinky Bennett behind him. Jason Parks, can he get there? Will Wes shoot down and into that gap? Nope, he sure won't. See what happens. Chris Everett dives down. Can he pull enough help with him? Jason Parks got some ground to cover to close that gap, but Rusty Hughes out front. That T-Bird's looking awfully fast right now. Tell you that much. Coors Light Silver Bullet Smoke Pit 4 Thunderbird with Bad News Hughes at the wheel. Looking mighty formidable right now. If he'll just stay on the inside, and as soon as I say that, he starts to wonder, starts to drift a little bit. Chris Everett just decides to go ahead and jump outside and lose some positions. Now Rusty Hughes with Jason Hughes right on his tail. Pete Cool's worked his way back up there with Miles Parks and Luke Halton. Jace shoots down to the inside. Rusty Hughes. He's going to settle with that high line and relinquishing the lead. Jason Parks going to be the new race leader. Pete Cool drifting way up high. Don't know what he's doing. 4 wide up there. With Chris Everett, just McCorkle's cars all side by side, and we've got our first guys going down pit lane. Jason Parks was our race leader, so we're going to stay right here and see what happens. You definitely wanted to be in that first group, and if you weren't there, that's going to be tough. It'll be really tough after these guys come out to make up any ground out there with track position. We'll see what happens. Watching Rusty Hughes, let's go ahead and shift down to watch the race leader at the time of pitting, Jason Parks. Well, that's a great view. See what happens as he gets out of the pits. Looks like he is going to hold on to that lead by quite a margin getting out. Like I said, since he was our race leader, we're going to stay right here for the time being until the second group pits. Might check in on that, see how those pits look. But wow, coming off a pit lane, that is quite a gap. But nobody to help him, so it might not take long for it to be covered quickly. Let's go back through the pack real quick. We're watching the second group come through. Race leader was still Pete Cool before the pit. Pete Cool looks like he's getting out of there fast. Wonder if he maybe just took some gas. See what happens once we get everybody back around the start-finish line and our stats catch back up. We're on lap 31 of 38. So right now, we still got Pete Cool showing up as our race leader. As we watch Jason Parks coming around, that's going to be taking over the lead, but put Pete right there. So he's starting to build up enough speed. So let's see if we come back around if Jason Parks is our new race leader. Just a smoking fast T-Bird, but with nobody helping the draft, it's going to be real interesting to see if he can maintain that lead with about 7 laps to go. Or will Pete Cool get another beneficial break from the Jabroni Cup scores? I do not know. We might pull up our stats real quick. Yep, there we go. Reset with Jason Parks' new race leader. But look at that. Just like that. Pete Cool going around the outside. Will he have enough? He doesn't. I was going to say he doesn't have help, but David Baird fills that gap. It's going to be 3 on 2. Really interesting to see David Baird going way high and deciding to come back down. The Mutt cuts forward, not wanting to give up any ground, but just doesn't have enough. And look at that. Rusty Hughes dives inside with Miles Parks. They're going to be the new leaders. Lap 32. Pete Cool still way high, going 3 wide, but that car has been holding. It's had enough speed to hang fairly tough, just not enough. I don't know what he's doing, folks. He is going way too high. He's just making it a longer lap than it needs to be. So Rusty Hughes, your new race leader on lap 33. This is going to be interesting. Can these 5 cars maintain the gap between the rest of the pack, and who will shuffle back up to the front? We still got a few laps left, but these guys can stick together and at least wait until the last lap or 2 before they totally go to war with each other. Then it'll be one of these guys as the winner, but I don't know. We'll see. Might take a quick look back. Rusty Hughes, David Baird. This could be a very good day for the Audi's Chevy Lumina. The best of the season. We go backwards in the pack. Chris Everett trying to hold on to 6th position, but looks like he's probably going to lose it as Jason Brown drops inside. Just going to quickly cycle through and work our way back around because we're getting close enough to the end. Actually, it's kind of some interesting pairings out there, but all right, we're back with the race leader, Rusty Hughes. Let's pump our stats just to see. Oh yeah, look at that. They are almost 4 seconds ahead, so just doesn't look like that. Second pack's going to have enough to get up there to compete, so this is going to be an interesting showdown. 5 cars, 1 winner. Who will it be? Lap 35 of 38, pardon me. Bad News Hughes holding on. Pete Cool back down the inside. Just about. Look at that. No contact, but about as close as you can get as Pete Cool tells Audi to just get the funk out of the way. Meanwhile, Rusty Hughes is going to benefit as those guys are battling out, and he's still in the lead by quite a bit. Look at that. Those guys just not giving up an inch. Pete Cool and David Baird just battling, but Baird drifts outside, and he's going to pay the price. Just join back up at the back of that 5-car pack. Lap 36 and 38. We're getting close to the end here, folks. Rusty Hughes looks like he might have a really good shot of bringing this thing home with everybody battling back behind him. Now Miles Parks. Pete Cool once again drifts outside, and that's just something you cannot do. Out there by himself, just not going to have enough speed to challenge for the lead, but as soon as I say that, Miles Parks also trying to straddle that line between the two drafts, but they all come back down. Pete Cool going to have to pick it back up at the back of the line. Lap 37, 38, so soon we're going to hit that white flag. This is a great battle up front, but it's not a battle for the lead. That's the problem. Rusty Hughes looks like he's going to hold on to this thing. There's maybe one or two shots at a good challenge to go before we finish, as we've got to be coming back around to the start-finish here in a second. Hit that white flag. So Miles Parks, right there. Can he get enough speed and momentum to get around? David Baird shoots down to the inside. This could reset Rusty Hughes, though, with a great block. Gets back down there, and that leaves Miles Parks out to dry. We still wondering if our stats are still catching up. There, now we just updated to white flag, the last lap. David Baird and Rusty Bad News Hughes, a classic battle of Randolph County greats. This is going to be a good one, folks. Let's see what happens. Rusty Hughes has been quite the savvy race leader up there. Just staying in front. Just impeccable timing on jumping between the two drafts, the two lines of cars. Right now, everyone's kind of looks like they're waiting a little too long, as we're got to be coming up to the finish here, folks. David Baird right on his bumper, but just not making a move. I think we just hit the start-finish. It's hard to tell. Let's bring up our stats. That's it. Rusty Hughes, your race winner with David Baird. Jason Parks, Pete Cool, and Miles Parks rounding out the top 5. Chris Skeen, Chris Everett, E.J. Lawler, Daryl Parks, and Justin Parks rounding out the top 10. So quite the anticlimactic ending after a good battle for the last couple of laps leading up to the last lap. So let's take a look at what that does with our overall standings. Justin Parks still number 1 in the points, with Chris Skeen right behind him. Pete Cool up to 3rd place. Cole Parks dropping down to 4th. Miles Parks hangs on to 5th. Jason Brown 6th. Rusty Hughes 7th. Jason Parks 8th. Dane Parks 9th. And Jacob Parks dropping to 10th. He is dropped precipitously after the first 10 or 11 races of leading this thing. So that's going to do it for now. We might be back a bit later this evening. We'll have to see where we're going next, but Jabroni Cup Fever, catch it. We're out. Possibly. I can find the mouse cursor. Seems to have disappeared. Don't know where it is. Maybe if Tad was here, things would work better. The two-man crew. It really is gone. Ooh, Watkins Glen.